don't marry a broke man.
Don't
Yes.
marry a broke man.
Don't marry a broke man. It's not about their pocket being broke. Marry a man that can bring value. However, as a woman, own your own. There's nothing wrong about partnership of value. You bring value, I bring value. It's sweeter. Don't spend your money on wigs.
They say wigs are invested.
So you have to live and be a baby girl. So I understand. But I'm saying don't overindulge or things
Get
that don't
addicted.
have economic value. Burnout is inevitable if you feel you have to be the one to do everything. So when we talk about system structures, it's not just about the business only. It's also the home front or everywhere that you find yourself as a woman. You need to negotiate with your husband. It's not everything that you must do. If you have a husband that must eat fresh meals every day, you will have to create a system to make sure that that fresh meal happens. Not necessarily you doing it. There are many people that want to build wealth. Even an average person on the street wants to build wealth. But the truth is, what do you have to do to be able to build wealth? You must be principled, first of all, because people that have built wealth in the world are people that live by principles. You must have clarity about what it is that you're building the wealth for. Your wealth must be purposeful. So when you talk about generational wealth, it's not based on short-term thinking. It's not based on what you want now. It's based on what you see in the future. Vision is critical. There must be something you see in the future that you're building for today. I mean, when you read about the stories of wealthy people around the world, these are people that built with 100 years in mind. So the intentionality that goes with structuring, with putting things in place, systems that allow them to do all that they do in a way that those things continue to replicate after themselves, and they're still relevant years after they are gone. That is the code behind generational wealth.
Hi there, my name is Victory Wilson, and you're welcome to Amplify Her Podcast, a place where we shine the light on extraordinary women, breaking barriers, blazing the trail, and using their voices to inspire impact. This is more than just a conversation. We're spotlighting stories that matter and journeys that reminds us all of what is possible. If you're just joining us, don't forget to hit the like button on all our videos and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of the impactful conversations. Today, I have an amazing guest seated right next to me. Who's my guest? Let's get into her profile. Today, I'm joined by Biola Adediran, also known as Biola Flow, a seasoned corporate finance expert turned visionary business coach, mentor, and family business advisor. From investment banking and financial strategy to helping high net worth families preserve legacies, build wealth, and scale businesses without sacrificing personal freedom, she stands at the intersection of power, purpose, and legacy. Ladies, join me welcome our guest today, Mrs. Biola Adediran, Biola Flow.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We finally have the Biola Flow here, and we're
Yes.
excited.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell me first, how do you feel? This is Amplify Her Podcast, a spotlight for women doing amazingly well. How do you feel being here?
Actually, I've been looking forward to this. The founder of this podcast is my sister and friend, and I've been looking to sit on this couch with you to be having a conversation. So it's a pleasure we're doing this right now.
It's amazing. I could give you a hug.
Yeah.
All right, let's get right into our discussion. I mean, you are into corporate finance and strategy. That's a unique field. What drew you to that path?
As a child, I actually wanted to be a doctor. Yeah, because I always wanted to solve people's problems. But I thought maybe the medicine part was the part until I got into school, and then I realized that I really fell in love with numbers. So I've always been a science student doing numbers, not accounting, by the way. And then along the journey, my journey just led me into accounting and then finance, because I was a chartered accountant even before I left university. And that is not starting as a commercial student. But I'm always fascinated by the idea of how value is created, right? And so for me, it's a journey of really understanding how can you create and multiply value. So even though we talk about accounting in terms of numbers, For me, that's not the part that really intrigues me. I've always been fascinated about how businesses create value and multiply it across the different value chain that exist, whatever field that they are playing. So corporate finance actually led me to that journey. My journey led me from investment banking into seeking to understand how you can do deals and make your 10 become 10 million. Absolutely. So for me, it was really about that. And I think for me, I look at numbers beyond just, things on a spreadsheet. For me, it's bigger than that. When I look at numbers, I see balance sheets and I see how value can be created to transform lives, to build businesses that can create solutions and solve people's problems. That for me is what corporate finance has done.
Amazing, amazing. And women naturally like to create value, and being that you
Absolutely.
now even include that in numbers. And what is more fascinating is that you help people build generational wealth as well. And we are in times and seasons where even I myself, I want to build generational wealth.
Yes, we should all.
You know,
Yes.
it's not easy for someone to come out and say, see, hi there, I will help you build your generational wealth. How do you do that? And what's the first step for anyone who even wants to build that?
I think for me, it's intention. You have to want it. That's number one. Number two, it's not enough for you to want it. You have to be intentional about the steps that you're going to take to get there. There are many people that want to build wealth. Even an average person on the street wants to build wealth. But the truth is, what do you have to do to be able to build wealth? You must be principled, first of all, because people that have built wealth in the world are people that live by principles. You must have clarity about what it is that you're building the wealth for. Your wealth must be purposeful. So when you talk about generational wealth, it's not based on short-term thinking. It's not based on what you want now. It's based on what you see in the future. So there comes vision. Vision is critical. There must be something you see in the future that you're building for today. I mean, when you read about the stories of wealthy people around the world, these are people that built with 100 years in mind. Do you see what I mean? So the intentionality that goes with structuring, with putting things in place, systems that allow them to do all that they do in a way that those things continue to replicate after themselves, and they're still relevant years after they are gone. That is the code behind generational wealth, not just the desire.
Intentionality, not just
Absolutely.
desire. But there's a common perception about success and this generational wealth. Recently, a book by one of the wealthiest men in Africa, even cited the notion that his father gave him a certain amount of money, and people go ahead and say, see, that's the only thing I learned in this book, that your father should have the money to borrow you so you can start a business. So there's already a perception about generational wealth. What's the main perception that you think that people should let go of in terms of defining success? Old definitions, archaic definitions of success that people should let go of if they really want to build this.
You see, what I tell people is wealth is not just money. I think, first of all, people need to move away from that. Because we've seen people in this climb and in other climes that built wealth from absolutely nothing. So nobody handed them anything, right? It's just your ability to create value. And when you create value for a lot of people, if you solve people's problem, and that problem is a problem that a lot of people have, you're bound to be wealthy. It's a game of numbers. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So people should just take their mind away from the fact that until somebody hands me something, I'm not able to create. A lot of people just want to be handed something. They are not creating value. They're not looking to solve problems. People that are wealthy in the world, they see problems as opportunities.
Yes.
They are excited when they see problems because they see money about to be made. Do you see what I mean? Dangote is going to get wealthier and wealthier because why?
He's solving
He's
problems.
solving the most wicked problem in Nigeria. So you go and look for another wicked problem to solve and you'll be swimming in money. So people really need to focus on creating value. It's not about anybody handing you something. We've seen people that were handed wealth, literally, and today there's nothing. So when you don't have the work ethic that created the wealth is about to fade off. And that's what we see around, in Africa, and I would say maybe around the world as well.
You can actually be even handed something, and if you don't know how to use it, you do not have these things you've stated, you've listed, intentionality, discipline, principles, those things that you were giving will just wither.
Absolutely.
And you would have nothing at the end
And
of the
what
day.
people don't also know is that wealth is also the values
Yes.
Wealth is also the vision. Do you see? Wealth is also the discipline. All those principles, everything that creates the material, physical wealth or the financial wealth that you're talking about, even your relationships, your social capital, it's wealth.
Your network.
Your net worth, it's wealth. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
And that is what creates generational wealth, not just the money.
Yeah. But we have people that have successfully built this generational wealth and people that are on course. In family businesses, I know you help some of them because that's what you do. You also coach and give advices. And some of these family businesses that you've seen, you know, when you give your wealth advisory, what are the repeated mistakes that you see that people make?
I think for me, what I see the most, especially on the African continent, is that I see that a lot of first generation wealth builders, wealth creators, many of them, not all, many of them came from hardship or not having a lot.
As first generation.
So they are focused on success. They are focused on sacrifice. They put in all of the work, blood, sweat, and tears every day. But oftentimes what they forget is that they don't put structure in what they're building. They do it because they know how to do it so well. They do it and it's working and they're making a lot of money. They are successful and they are fixated on that success in the short term. What they don't do well and why their wealth does not pass on to the next generation seamlessly is that they forget structure. They forget to structure what they are building. They forget to create systems that help to repeat the same processes that generate the wealth, whether they are the one doing it or is somebody else that is doing whatever the work is. Another thing I see is succession. No structured succession, no plan in place. Many of them that want their businesses to remain in the family, meaning they want their children to carry on the business, end up not even bringing the children into the business. So they assume that someday these children will come back into the business just because this business generated the money that sent you to school and make you who you are, right? But when you don't let your children see you, also understand the discipline that went behind how you created the wealth, they can't have appreciation for
And
the
naturally
wealth.
fall in love with
And
it.
develop the interest naturally. See themselves in the business and how they can contribute to the value that you're already creating. So that is what I see consistently. And the story of Africa is not different from other parts of the world. I mean, the story is being told, and I think is in the news generally, that 60% of wealth is lost by the second generation.
Yeah.
By the third generation, 90% is lost. Why do we have that? It's because we don't have structures that preserve it. Wealth creation is one skill, which is what a lot of first generation business founders have. Wealth preservation is another skill, which a lot of people shy from, or they don't even bother because they don't feel like that's the most important thing. Some people, when I'm talking to them and we're discussing wealth preservation, it looks more like they are more interested in let's grow the wealth. Yes, we'll
Let's
grow
grow the
the
money.
wealth. But when we finish growing the wealth, let's make sure that we also preserve it so that what we've grown, one day we don't wake up and
It's
no
all
longer
gone.
there. Do you see what I mean? So people should also balance wealth creation with wealth preservation by making sure that there are structures in place to preserve what has been built.
And it's very important because a saying goes that it's easy to get up there. It's easy to get up the ladder. But it's also hard, very hard
stay
to
there.
remain there.
Yeah.
And it needs the wealth preservation skill because if you don't have that, there's every likelihood that you just calm down.
Absolutely.
And nobody wants to calm down,
Yeah.
really. But let's talk about women because this podcast is about women. We're amplifying her. And in the times that we're in now, it's amazing to see that women are stepping up, trying to build and create wealth for themselves. When we talk about first generation wealth, you see that most are even created by women because they're now coming up and saying, neglecting those days when women were not allowed to speak up, when women were not allowed to do anything or even given the chance to. But some still hold on to that archaic mindset that, you see, the Holy Book says a man must provide.
I know.
I'm not here to stress. There was one video that was trending on social media some time ago, and the woman said, see, you want to stress, go and stress. The Bible said I should sit at home and enjoy. I'm a woman, I'm enjoying money. I just need to marry a rich man. What do you say to that kind of mentality? And funny enough, it works for some women. And it works for, it doesn't work for others. But what do you say about that mentality?
You see, what I would say is, No woman should outsource her identity.
Mm.
No woman should outsource her destiny. It's good to marry a man that is rich. As a matter of fact, don't marry a broke man.
Don't marry
Yes,
a broke
don't
man.
marry a broke man because many broke people that I've encountered also have broke mindsets. So it's not about their pocket being broke. Marry a man that can create value. However, as a woman, own your own. There's nothing wrong about partnership of value. You bring value, I bring value. It's sweeter. Do you understand what I mean? Women have always shied away from the idea of ownership. In time past, women have been known to outsource the conversation when it comes to money. You will find a woman, when they're talking about money matters, she'll say, let me wait for my husband. And that's not to say don't defer to your husband, but it is that you have the financial capability to get some stuff done even before the man shows on the scene. Do you see what I mean? So it's important for women to not always think that money conversation is a masculine conversation. It is not. Every woman should be comfortable with the conversations around money, conversations around ownership of assets, conversations around succession. You'll find that even the few women that seem to be doing well when it comes to building wealth, you'll find that some of them still do it a bit in secrecy.
Yes.
You hear things like, I don't want my husband to know that I'm buying a house or that I have this asset or that asset. There's just this thing where it almost looks like a woman wanting to amass wealth means that she is materialistic or she's doing something that is out of this world. But I think we need to normalize the idea that a woman can also be an owner of assets. A woman should be wealthy. A woman should be, think about
It should be a natural thing.
Think about the Proverbs 31 woman that we read.
Yes.
She's a wealthy woman. She has multiple businesses. She's generating income from several income streams. Everything about her speaks luxury. What are we talking about? Women should not plan their lives, their retirement, their legacy around a man's pocket. If the man brings the money, it's good.
It's a plus. Let
It's
it be a plus.
Exactly. It's good. But don't bank on that. Do you know why? Things change. Marriages evolve. People change. Circumstances shift. So when those things happen, when you're still doing your lovey-dovey and it looks like everything is cool, what if something unexpected happens? What's going to happen to you? That's why you have a lot of women who think that the man should be the only person that is financially empowered to provide. And then something happens to the man, everybody is going to suffer for it, including the children. We shouldn't perpetuate this circle of poverty, really, when we allow it to be a one-sided conversation. The man only brings the money, the woman spends the money. No, every woman should learn what it takes to build and have her own. And then if the man brings his own, it's good. And if he doesn't bring, you also have options. That's another thing. You also have options because wealth gives you options. It's not just about independence. It's not just about I want to be an independent woman or you're building wealth out of rebellion. I want to show them that
I'm a feminist.
I'm a feminist. It's not about that. It's about options. Okay? It's about your ability to walk away from a toxic situation because you can. And not just because you don't
There's
have
no option.
Yes.
Amazing. You talked about independence. For women, building financial independence could be a lot because sometimes they realize early, and they are lucky for that, but they realize late. I won't say late, but they realize later when they are married, already have kids, and you find out that they burn out. First off, do you rest?
Of course I do.
You do. What do you do to relax?
I have an intentional Sabbath. I call it Sabbath. My Sabbath is not on Sundays. Oh, yes.
When is your
I
Sabbath
work
day?
in such a way that I don't have to work on Mondays.
Ooh,
sometimes.
Interesting.
So for me, there is a periodic self-care regimen that I go through.
No wonder you're looking this fresh.
My darling, I
and
have
always
to.
pumped.
I have to. Because the work I do is mentally draining sometimes. You're taking on other people's problems and you're looking for solutions. You're creating value for the most part. That can leave you drained.
Yes.
Many
and
times.
empty if care is not taken.
Absolutely.
And empty.
So if you're going to be that advisor that can be trusted, that whenever they need you, you're ready to go, then you must have your way of replenishing your energy.
Yourself.
Right? So that whenever the demand is placed on you, you're good to go.
So how
Your
can
health-
women even work against burnout? Manage
Yeah.
it, being that you are in the best position to give that advice because you obviously have a family, you have a buzzing career, and you're helping people, you're creating value, and there are many other women like that trying to create value and trying to create that generational wealth on their own, and it's definitely not easy. So how can they manage burnout and be productive as well?
What I would say really is that many women feel like creating wealth, especially if they're leveraging their business, they want to scale their business so that their business can generate more income. Many of them think, and this is not just women, many business founders feel like to scale and to be able to generate wealth is about you doing more. But no, it's about you putting structure in place that allow you to do less but get more. That is where the code is. Because when you focus on what you can do, you are limited. You have 24 hours in a day. If all you have capability for is what you're relying on to create the wealth that you really want, you are very much limited. But when you understand leverage, how to leverage other people's time, how to leverage other people's skills, how to leverage other people's money, you will realize that you will create wealth in geometric proportion. In fact, exponential proportion. Because you're not limited to yourself alone. As a human being, you are a limited resource. But when you understand how to leverage other people, that's why you will not just hire anyhow. You will hire intentionally. You will hire for what you need that you don't have. You will not try to do everything. Women especially, we fall into this trap where we wear many hats in a day. You are the, logistics person. You're the person that is thinking strategy. You're the person that is thinking about numbers. You're the person that is reaching out to your vendors. You're the person that is trying to get customers.
Burnout is unavoidable.
Burnout is already there.
Yeah.
And then you come home, your kids are calling. Daddy is also still calling you in the room.
In the other room.
I'm telling you, there is no way you will not burn out. Do you see? It's about what system do I need to put at home that ensures that the home front is working, whether I'm there or not. There are times that I travel and I know that my kids are okay. They're eating food that they're supposed to eat when I'm there or when I'm not there. Do you see? Everything works. So when we talk about system structures, it's not just about the business only. It's also the home front or everywhere that you find yourself as a woman. So my point is, burnout is inevitable if you feel you have to be the one to do everything. You have to get comfortable with people helping you. It may not be perfect, right? You have to give people room to grow.
And the grace.
Exactly. To grow, to come to understand how you want things done. But my dear, don't kill yourself.
Don't kill yourself. Let people help you.
Let people
Accept help.
you.
Accept help.
Yes, delegate, outsource.
Yes.
Don't do everything by yourself.
Yes. That's why they say division of labor too is very, very important.
And know how to negotiate, even with your husband and even with your children. Oh, yes. Learn how to negotiate.
How do you negotiate with your children,
So,
though?
for instance, my children understand mommy days.
Your children are very
Yes.
understanding.
Oh, because I schooled them from when they were young.
Oh.
Oh, yes. So I know that they want to play with mommy. They want to come and tell mommy I'm hungry 100 times. Yeah. So we plan ourselves. So I'm going to tell them between this time and this time, mommy is busy. She needs to rest. Do you want mommy to fall sick? No, I don't want mommy to fall sick. Yes. So they understand when I can't be approached. Do you understand? I have a studio in my home, for instance, where I work. I have a home office as well.
Okay.
When that door is locked, you know not to knock that door. Yeah, that is schooling that I've given them over
And
time.
that's structure.
Absolutely, that's structure. And when I come out, it's time to play. It's time for us to gist and do everything that we need to do. So you need to teach your children. You need to negotiate with them. You need to negotiate with your husband. It's not everything that you must do. If you have a husband that must eat fresh meals every day, you will have to create a system to make sure that that fresh meal happens. Not necessarily you doing it. Because it takes a toll on you as a woman. Do you see? So you have to find a way to negotiate. Otherwise, you burn out if you must do everything.
I must say that you're handling everything beautifully well. I have learned how to handle my home from this conversation as well. Because you have to create that structure. If not, you're going to
Yes,
burn out. But
absolutely.
there's this common stereotype that women who are rich, who know how to create wealth, who are ambitious, because you have all of these attributes. I dare say that. It's
Thank
obvious.
you.
And they say, oh, women that are like that do not know how to keep a home. How do you react to that?
I think it's a bias that a lot of people have, and I think it comes from cultural conditioning as well, where our mothers were raised to just be keepers of homes, not necessarily owning anything.
Your
They're
place is in the
handed
kitchen.
over, yes, they're handed things, right? I don't believe that a woman cannot be wealthy, cannot be successful, and keep a home. Your The fact that you have money is not what makes you who you are. If you have dysfunction inside of you, money will only multiply that dysfunction. Do you see what I mean? So it's not money is not what determines your character. Money is not what determines who you are.
Yes.
When you have money, that is when we will
Your
really
real
see.
character will come out.
Exactly, because money just magnifies it.
Of course.
So I believe that that thing about women being proud when they have money and all that is not true. I mean, it's not true with me. And I know women, I know people. For me, it was this thing was something I grew up with, seeing how my mother managed our home. Not that she was wealthy like that, but just seeing how she stewarded what she had, how she prioritized, how she made decisions with money, stood with me like as a child as I was growing up. And then as I also grew, my faith also became my compass to say, what does a wealthy woman look like? I read that Proverbs 31 woman a lot, and I bring it into today, into the contemporary world to say, what will a Proverbs 31 woman look like in today's world? She's a woman that sits on boards. She's a woman that controls different chains of businesses. She's a woman that has men and women working under her.
Of course.
And she still comes home and cooks for her husband.
And she's still the wife
And she's
at
still
home.
the wife to her
and
husband.
the mother to her
and
kids.
mother to her children. Do you see? That's a Proverbs 31 woman. And then beyond my faith being my compass, I have also been mentored by visionary women who are holding it down, who are doing amazing things, who are building businesses, and also still holding the home front. People like Jumoke Adenowo is my mentor. If you know her very well, she's a strong woman. She's successful. She still has her home front intact, and she's a woman of God. She's still in service to God.
And creating
People like
value.
Ibokwa Woshika, she's doing amazing things, creating impact around the world. And her family is still at the forefront. She speaks highly of her husband and her children. Do you see? And we have many examples like that around us. So when I see those examples, then I know that this thing that has come out of cultural conditioning that people have believed is not true. We have believed it because it has become mainstream information, but it's not true. A woman can be wealthy and still be humble.
Yes, I totally agree. So, men, please take note, and men should stop moving around with that notion and that stereotype. I think it needs to stop. We'll get to something else. I know there's something else in your mind about the stereotypes in Nigeria that needs to change. But let's get personal a little bit. We've done enough advice for women. But tell me, as a financial expert, what's the biggest financial decision that you made that was a big mistake, and how did it turn out?
Financial mistake. I think for me, it was an investment that I did with a friend, right? Even though I advise people on documentation, I didn't follow my advice in that particular instance. And I think it was really the circumstances around how the transaction came to be. So I took a lot of things for granted because the opportunity came through her. So I kind of deferred to her that she's got it on lockdown. Do you understand? But because I didn't cross my T and dot my I's, when when everything scattered, it came down to what do I have to fall back on? And I realized I didn't have much to fall back on. And that was really pivotal for me and more painful because I knew what to do and I still didn't do it. And there was significant money involved.
Because you trusted
So it was just
her.
based on trust, right? Oh, I've seen this person. She's, impeccable character. She appears to be an upright person. And she's my friend. What can go wrong? And I looked at the deal itself. I feel like everything checks out. So let's just go. But there was no proper documentation. And when the issues happened, some of it are not entirely her fault. But because she also didn't have the benefit of someone like me to have insisted on certain things, we both lost money.
Oh.
And I think for me, it taught me a very huge lesson about trust. I trust you, but we will document.
Business is business.
Exactly, business is business. So we separate relationship and business. It's just business. I'm not trying to be fussy. I'm not trying to be difficult. It's just business.
You must document. Documentation is very important for every business you want to do. Then what's the boldest financial decision you took that turned out well?
For
You
me,
told us the bad one. Tell us the good one.
I won't say it's a financial decision. I would say it was a decision. Maybe a decision that had a very huge financial implication is how I would twist this.
Okay.
And I think for me, it was a decision to leave a promising 9-to-5 career, executive life that comes with the perks for uncertainty, right? With no guarantees, but just a strong conviction about the value that I could create. Value that I have created and I believe I could create on a larger scale. So it meant that I had to turn down, even after I left, it also meant that I had to turn down a lot of, very lucrative opportunities that didn't quite align with that mission. And sometimes I look back, I'm like, maybe I should have taken that money. Maybe I should have taken that money.
We're humans. It definitely would have happened.
But sometimes I look back as well and I'm like, this is actually really worth it because I find alignment, I find freedom, I find impact, I find that I'm able to influence other people, I'm solving problems at a larger scale. I'm asking myself, now, what is more important to me? And having a better definition of what success really is. I found that I actually took a better decision of following my conviction and doing what exactly may not immediately give me the financial, what I need in terms of finances, at least compared to the one that that is already there and you're taking care of,
yes.
right? But I am creating value, one family at a time, one business at a time, one individual at a time. So that for me is very important. And I think that's the biggest decision that I took afraid. And I thank God that I'm still on the journey and there's nothing, I'm not looking back.
Amazingly, biggest decisions like that, always yield biggest changes in one's career, financial life.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm happy with you that you took that decision. But then, what's the biggest myth about Nigerian women and money that you wish you could change if you had the power to?
I think there's this sense about, and I see videos, going all around on social media, that Nigerian women is all about spending money. An average Nigerian woman is always about spending, and I don't think that is true. I think that Nigerian women are very industrious, especially now in the age of social media, with AI, with technology. You find even girls in higher institution who are also making money. So they're not even waiting until they get to the job market before they start creating value and making money. I feel like an average Nigerian is very also minded. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I just feel like we're resourceful. We're very, very resourceful.
We're hustlers.
And when we go to other parts of the world, you find that we stand out because we have that thick skin.
Yes.
We're able to...
Relentlessness.
We're relentless. We're resilient.
Yes.
Right? And so when I think of an average woman in Nigeria, in Africa, I don't see us as just spenders. I see us as value creators. I see us as nurturers. What I wish for more women to do is to be bolder in taking money decisions.
Be bolder in taking money decisions.
Absolutely.
Then for women in their 20s, what top 3 decisions, should they make now to secure the future that they desire if they want to build generational wealth?
I think the first thing for me is identity. Know who you are at the core, not who society wants you to be or says you should be. Because there's a sense in which we find this narrative that is very loud. And it's almost like if you're not like that, you are just the minority.
You're not even doing anything with your life.
Or you're an exception, or there's something wrong with you. So you need to know who you are. In your 20s, you have time. You have time. So don't be in a hurry to do anything.
Yes.
Don't be in a hurry to grow fast. Because adulting is hard.
Adulthood is scam. It's a scam.
I'm telling you. So enjoy your 20s, explore, learn, do everything that you can to add value to yourself. And don't be all about seeking validation. That is where identity comes from, right?
Yes.
Number 2, be a voracious learner. Learn anything that you can learn. Just learn. Eat knowledge like food every day, because what you have is what you can create value with. I remember in my 20s, I work like, people call me jackal, like,
Jack of all
you
trades,
just like to
master
work.
of all.
You just
Were
like
you
to
master
work.
of all or master of one?
I don't even know which one I was. But I just knew that whenever there was work to be done, I was there to get it done. The truth is that the confidence that I had to move into running my own business also came from the fact that I could take something from just an idea on paper and turn it into a full-blown enterprise. I've done it for people.
And that is entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. Do you see? So I built that while working for other people, and it was easy for me to build my own. So in your 20s, please learn. Just be someone that loves knowledge and goes after knowledge. And number 3, start your wealth building journey early. It doesn't matter whether all you have to save and invest is just 1,000 naira. I started my investing journey, for instance, when I was in the university. That was when I learned about stocks and things like that. Even though I got my hands burnt in the 2008 meltdown and crash and all that, but I had developed a discipline of putting money aside and investing, not just saving. And that helped me even later on in years when I began to learn more about other types of investing, not just stocks, real estate, and all of those type of things and financial assets. For you in your 20s, start planning for your retirement at 65 from when you're in your 20s. I did something for the people in my community. I have this wealth, building community. And I did something on an investment calculator for them. And I said, assume that you have nothing to do. You are on zero. And you're 25 years. And you're planning to retire at 65. And you put aside, I think it was $500 I used as the example. So you put aside $500 every month. You're 25. You're aiming for 65. That's 40-year gap. And you put $500 aside, and you invest it in an ETF. An ETF is an exchange traded fund. So I use the example of the one that tracks the S&P 500, which is the fund that tracks the top US stocks, right? And on average, that stock has done on average in the last 50 years, 11%. So if you use 11% and you invest consistently, $500 every month, you will have made $4.3 million by the time you're 65. All you will have contributed to that, I think, is about 350,000 in a 40-year lifetime. But if you started that same exercise, if you started at 45 to 65, you will only make about $1.4 million. See 1.4, 4.3. The magic here is time.
A lot.
Time, compounding. That's the magic of compounding. So when you start building early, you will build and it will not even be a burden. Because you can easily, today we have people on social media creating content and earning in dollars on a monthly basis. Much more than $500.
Yes.
So if you're in your 20s and you know how to use AI, use it well. But when you use it well, make the money and start putting it in something that builds wealth for you. This conversation about wealth, don't worry, in the next generation, it's going to be normalized. Because you will find a lot of people in their 20s that are already building wealth because they learn. And that's why I'm so passionate about wealth education for the younger folks. Because I see that a lot of older people, the mistakes that they made was because they didn't know a lot of these things when they were young. And so they are trying to play catch up. And it's harder when you're older. But in your 20s, please take advantage of every opportunity to learn, every opportunity to develop yourself. And most importantly, don't spend your money on wigs and travel by all
Wigs
means.
are investments.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't
No,
know.
they say wigs are investments.
Well, I mean, I don't. That's why I don't do wigs, so I really wouldn't know.
But take it from the financial advisor. Don't spend your money on wigs. But if you can buy 1, 2 good hairs, fine.
It's okay. I
Is it not
mean,
good?
you have to live and be a baby girl. So I understand. But I'm saying don't overindulge
Of
on
course.
things
Get
that don't
addicted.
have value, economic value.
Yes.
Yes. So put your money in assets that have economic value that can build
Yes.
wealth for you. Still live your life, but don't overindulge.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much for
You're
that. But
welcome.
at this point, I even have to ask, with the way you're speaking, that even the biggest, boldest decision you made, even pushed you to becoming who you are today. Have you ever failed at anything?
I failed though.
Because at this juncture, it's pertinent that I ask. Because I'm like, even the boldest decision that you were sad about pushed you to becoming this Biola Flow.
Yes.
So have you ever failed at anything?
I think the first thing I failed at was when I wrote ICANN.
Mm.
I thought I was very smart. I was very brilliant, actually. And so I wrote ICANN and I failed. So, yes, I have failed before. Remember what I told you that I started writing ICANN when I was in the university. And I was trying to combine that with my BSc, right?
Oh.
And so there was this particular time where it actually clashed. The exams, the ICANN exams clashed with my school exam. So I left my school exam and I went to write ICANN exam. Thankfully, for some reason, I don't know what happened in the school, they cancelled, the whole school. They cancelled the exam and they said everybody should retake the exam again.
Oh my God.
So that was how I was saved that I could take the exam with, the second time they said people should take it. But despite the fact that I made that sacrifice to go write my ICANN exam, I failed that particular diet. And it was so painful. It pained me so much because I felt like, God, you should have just, look at this sacrifice that I made. So at the time, I thought that, I was brilliant. Of course I was. And I think
Of course, you're not dull.
I still think I am.
You are intelligent.
Yeah. But I was surprised that I failed. And
Yeah.
I felt like I put in all of the work, but I failed. And that was the first time I failed. And it really got to me because I kept questioning why I failed, But after then, of course, I skilled ICANN before I left school. The second time I failed was when I wrote CFA. Ha! This one tested me.
But I would hear that these exams are quite hard.
They are actually. But of course, because I always believed I could do whatever I put my mind to, and I prepare for it, I'm disciplined enough to know what it is that it demands, right? And I put in the work.
Yes.
I expect to pass. That's just my mindset. So when I don't pass, I question, okay, so what's going on?
So when you failed the other exam, what happened?
So when I failed, I just encouraged myself in the Lord.
Take heart, my child.
And then I went and I took it again. That was the first diet. But after I took it and I passed, I stopped. I decided to pivot and go and do my MBA instead.
But how did these failures actually shape you? Because, every experience has a way that they inculcate something in us, knowingly or unknowingly.
Yeah.
Do you think they formed anything in your mind?
I think for me, it just reminded me that sometimes because we get some stuff done almost naturally, there's a sense in which you feel like you are all that. So it reminded me almost immediately that you can fail.
Be humble.
Be humble, yes. Be humble.
Be humble. Life will tell you
I'm
and
telling
teach you to be humble.
And I'm grateful actually that I got those lessons quite early, because I realized that if I had gone on in life without having experienced failure and processed the failure and use it as something that propels me to become a better person, it will probably be more fatal in terms of my ability to manage it. So now I live every day. I go on to take on new things, new ideas, knowing failure
It's part of life.
It's part of life. And so if failure happens, it's not me. Do you understand? I have learned not to personalize failure. I've learned to see failure from the eyes of, okay, this is how not to do it. And then it shows me other ways to do it. It also helps me to build the resilience, that bounce back ability if there's a word like that.
I agree. Bounce back ability.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. So that for me was really
Please add it to the
great.
dictionary.
So yeah, that really helped me, because later on in life, when I began to make money decisions, of course, I would say maybe it was a general failure when I put my money in stock market and more than half of it went. Maybe that was failure as well.
As well,
Yeah,
of course.
and I've
Of
lost money in
course.
some investments too. I have gained a lot more in some other investments. So that's also part of failure. So for me, it's also just being able to process the failure and not make it about myself.
Yes.
Yes.
There's something my mom always says, and it's so profound. I learned that really early in life when I was, the way Jump does its thing. Now, Jump will jump you, just like I can do.
Yeah.
But Jump did not jump me. I wanted to study law, and each time I wrote Jump, I wrote post-UME, I got admission, they'll give me something else.
Oh, wow.
I would qualify, but then they say catchment area cutoff mark, and it's so annoying that people
right.
from my state, they read too much. And I'm like, why do you guys read so much? And then my mom would say, see, if your life is so smooth, the ending is going to be fatal. So then I didn't understand until I got older, and I'm like, okay, mommy, say that thing again. If your life is so
There's so
smooth,
much
the ending is going to
wisdom
be
there.
fatal. There's so much wisdom, and it can be likened to what you said now.
Absolutely.
Life must stop you so you can learn. So when
Exactly.
you get that thing that you deserve, you'll be able to manage it, and you'll never let it go.
Absolutely.
It won't even slip from your hands. That brings me to my next question.
Okay.
What legacies do you want to leave behind in businesses and lives that you've impacted?
I want to be remembered as that woman that brought clarity to situations, that woman that always sought to create value and solve problems, that woman that always wanted to bring out the best out of people. I wanted to be that person that families can think back and say, but for her, we will have lost our wealth. So I want to be the reason that most families are able to preserve their wealth and pass it on to the next generation. I want to be the person that younger people can grow into their 40s, 50s, and 60s and say, it was because of this woman that I encountered at this time in my life that I'm able to turn out the way I have turned out. And of course, they must have turned out well.
Of course.
Right.
I'm one of them.
Exactly.
Because this meeting now has made an impact in my
Oh, I
financial
love it.
life.
I love it.
Definitely. And I'm sure everyone that's watching has learned a lot as well. So thank you so much for your
Thank you
time.
for having me.
To wrap up our conversation, I'd like you to answer this very special question. In
Okay.
your own words, kindly define a talented woman.
A talented woman is a woman that has come into her own, meaning she's not a woman that is defined by society, but a woman that has come to identify who she really is and is living out her true essence with authenticity. She's able to leverage what she has as her own gifts and skills and experience, whatever she has, and she's able to create value and add value to herself, her family, and the society as large.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's time for rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Okay, bring it on.
Okay. Salary or business, which builds wealth faster in Nigeria?
Business.
Of
7
course.
times over.
Of
Take it
course.
from somebody who was in 9 to 5 and now does business. 7 times over.
7 times over. First investment you ever made?
I think my first investment in myself was really personal development. I invested in myself.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
You know why?
I learned a lot.
It's key.
Yeah. Because
like
it
that
helped me
answer.
in all the other investments that I did.
I like
and helped
that
me to
answer.
reduce the margin of error.
And we need to learn to invest in ourselves.
Oh, yes.
Especially women. Thank you for that answer. One money mistake every woman should avoid. Anyways, you said it. But say it again.
Don't just save money. Invest your money. Saving doesn't build wealth. Investing is what multiplies your money. Because people tell me about saving, they are joining one savings challenge and all that. Don't just save. Learn to invest.
To invest. A book that changed how you see money.
Richest Man in Babylon. I read that book at least once every year since I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Till now.
Yeah, till now.
Amazing.
Once a year.
I must read that book. Richest Man in Babylon. What's it about the book, though?
It's a lot. Go and read it.
I will.
It's about life, really, generally.
Okay.
Yeah. life, wealth building, just knowing who you are, how you add value to the world, your essence, everything about life, really. Yeah. But largely about creating value.
Creating value. Save or spend, which one comes more naturally to you? Of course.
Save, actually, because
Of course.
it's what I teach, but more importantly, I think I've learned it over time. I've mastered it over time, and because I also know that when I save, that's my own. When you don't save, you worked, you collected money, you're paying everybody else because you collect your money and the mechanic will collect it, the electrician will collect it, children's school fees will collect it, rent will.
Which one is your
Everybody
own?
line up to collect from you. Which one is your own? So for me, it's a rewiring and a reorientation that the one that you save is the one that you're keeping. So yes, saving for me.
The first financial lesson every parent should teach their daughter.
Teach your daughter that she's not defined by how much is in her pocket. She should not be defined by how much money she has. She should come into an identity that resonates and aligns with who she really understands herself to be. When you know who you are, whether you have 0 naira in your pocket or you have 1 million naira in your pocket, it won't change anything.
Know thyself, dear
Exactly.
daughter.
Yeah.
Thank you. Finish this. A woman with her own money is...
Unstoppable.
I like it. A woman with her own money is unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
On this note, we wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
your
having
time.
me.
This was really insightful. And
I
like you
enjoyed
said,
it.
you want to leave a mark on everyone, right? You have left a mark on me. And I'm
Oh,
sure
I
you've
love
left a
it.
mark on everyone that
Love
watched
it.
this episode. So thank you so much for your
Thank you
insights.
for having me. I enjoyed
Everyone,
it.
I hope you jotted things down. The first thing I'll take away is know thyself.
Yes.
Learn to save, learn to invest early so that you reap the benefit when you're old and you cannot work as hard as you're working now that you're young. Start investing early. Thank you once again, Biola Flow.
Thank you for having me.
All right, this is where we wrap up this episode of Amplify Her Podcast. I'm sure you enjoyed the conversation. Till I come your way again, you deserve the very best. Never settle for less. See you next time. My name is Victory Wilson. Bye.